This Technicality episode is brought to you by Skillshare. The first 500 people to sign up can learn with Skillshare for 2 months for just 99 cents.
Wait, what?
Hey guys, I'm here. Let's get technical. Standardized testing isn't great. If because I said so works for you, then you can just keep watching this video, but if you want to see how we got to that conclusion, check out this video I made to get all caught up. I wasn't the only one arguing that standardized tests are bad though. A quick Google search or look in the comments reveals that a lot of people feel the same way. Now, that's great and all, but I think what's missing in our discourse around standardized tests is, well, what's better? We can complain about standardized tests all we want, but without any actual solutions, we're not actually solving any problems. We're just pointing out that one exists over and over again. So today, let's do that. Let's fix standardized testing. First, we need to set some ground rules. We need to find solutions that capture the advantages of standardized tests, which are giving students a sense of how they're doing and allowing the government and colleges to assess the current state of schools and students respectively, but doesn't have the downsides of standardized tests, which are not educating students, which was the original goal of standardized tests in the first place, mind you, inaccurately measuring overall student ability, being very stressful, being biased towards rich students, and teaching to the test. That being said, after doing a lot of research, here are the 3 best ways to fix standardized tests. 1. Multiple measures systems. Let me tell you a story. This is the New York Performance Standards Consortium. It's an alliance of 28 public New York high schools, and while the state of New York usually requires students to take 5 standardized tests in a year, students who go to one of these high schools only take 1, the ELA. Why don't they take all of them? Well, instead of doing the other 4 tests, they would do something called Performance-Based Assessment Tasks, or PBATs. As the Washington Post reports, these include an analytic essay, a social studies research paper, a science experiment, and an applied mathematics problem. They incorporate both written and oral components. So how'd that work out for these high schools? Replacing standardized tests with project-based learning? What a preposterous notion. Another quote from that Washington Post article, in 2011, 86% of African American and 90% of Latino males from consortium schools were accepted to college. National averages are only 37 and 43% respectively. Consortium schools also have far lower rates of student suspension and far higher rates of teacher retention. Those are some pretty spicy statistics, but can they be seen anywhere else? Yeah, these are called multiple measure systems, and as Fairtest, the National Center for Fair and Open Testing reports, the New York Performance Standards Consortium isn't the only example of these systems. The work sampling system, designed for younger students, ages 3 to 8, is where students basically create a portfolio of their work. Wyoming's body of evidence system is much like the consortium's approach, but with a peer reviewing element. It's where they go on a peer. A matter of fact, a lot of countries that aren't America seem to do this method really well. Scotland, Finland, Sweden, Australia, Singapore, and the UK all have some variations of this multiple measures system. This solution solves many of the problems standardized testing presents. They give students a sense of how they're doing at school because they assess all parts of the curriculum. They educate students because students research and explore their own topic in their own way, as opposed to just filling out some bubbles. They more accurately measure student ability because they're given more outlets for students to show stuff like creativity, critical thinking, and responsibility. They're a bit less stressful because students have more time to do the assignment well. It supports underrepresented students, as the stats I previously presented show, and they don't force teachers to teach to the test because there isn't really a test to teach to. Yes! Oh my god, okay, so that line took me so long to say. The only real downside here is it's hard to generalize. A student submitting a portfolio of written work doesn't really translate to big data for politicians and lawmakers to use when evaluating the current state of our school system. 2. Make tests matter less. You may have heard standardized testing also called high-stakes testing, and that's because they matter a lot. In this solution, students would still take standardized tests, but the results of them wouldn't determine big things, like test results wouldn't be an accountability system where teacher and school funding is dependent on the scores, and test scores wouldn't be sent to colleges. Let me elaborate on those. First, the fact that we use standardized tests as an accountability system at all is odd. Not only are tests not a great measure of the full student, as we discussed in my previous video, but we also have many other ways of evaluating if a school is doing well. This is ESSA, or the Every Student Succeeds Act. It was signed into law by President Obama in December 2015, and among other things, it gives states more power over how they want to run their school accountability systems. What have states done with this power? The Education Commission of the states finds that some states have adopted or plan to adopt various new accountability metrics like college readiness, career readiness, growth as opposed to actual achievement, attendance, graduation rate, school culture, and even a measure of how well-rounded the education is. Totally legit reports say that they actually get extra points if the school is in an actual circle. Not to mention, the current accountability system we use to determine teacher pay, known as value-added analysis, or VA, is kind of messed up. The short version is, in execution, VA hurts teachers, and for the long version, John Oliver did a great piece on this, so just watch that. And second, it's not like colleges are in dire need of information on applicants. They already evaluate your grades, letter of recommendation, various personal essays, interviews, extracurricular activities, general interest in the school, and even more, so taking standardized test scores out of the mix isn't a huge deal. A matter of fact, over 1,000 colleges already have. So, I mean, yeah. Benefits of tests not mattering include kids, teachers, and parents getting a sense of how a student is doing in a class without stressing out that student because one test doesn't determine their future. It also wouldn't force teachers to teach to the test because student and teacher funding isn't dependent on how students do on those tests. It would also allow government to still collect big data and analyze overall trends in our school system. However, this method is not without faults because it fails to tackle the core inherent problems of standardized tests, like them not being a good measure of students in general, or them being biased towards rich kids, or them not even educating students. Moreover, the benefits are only benefits if students take the test seriously, and if the test has no real impact on their future, the external incentive is pretty much taken away, so you have to rely on students being internally motivated to try their best, which, shall have varying degrees of success knowing teenagers. 3. Stealth assessments. You've probably heard of Khan Academy. Maybe you just know them from their videos, but if you go to their website, you'll quickly notice the prevalence of actual quizzes. So much so that if you click on a topic you want to learn, the first thing Khan Academy does is prompt you to take an intro test. And these quizzes are smart. They identify which areas of a subject you need more help in and point you to other quizzes and videos to improve your knowledge in that certain area. Not to mention, Khan Academy has the ability to save all of the data you put into it, if they don't do that already, which means they can analyze both trends over large populations of students and the progression of an individual kid, seeing how that kid learns and grows over the course of a semester or a year or a lifetime. And Khan Academy isn't the only company doing this. Scholastic, Dreambox, Brilliant.org, and others do too. So do Khan Academy videos improve knowledge? Well, as Mr. Peanut Butter used to say on Hollywood Stars and Celebrities, what do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out. Let's find out. One study written about in the Huffington Post article found that when 7th grade students who typically struggled in math watched Khan Academy videos, students in the proficient and advanced categories increased from 23% to 41%. That's almost doubling. Khan Academy videos work, and the built-in quizzes are the perfect counterpart to track and measure mastery. The implementation would be simple. Instead of standardized tests, a teacher would just assign X minutes of Khan Academy homework for the night, students would do quizzes on the topics they're learning, the concepts they don't know would be identified, they'd be directed to videos to help them, and the process would repeat until the homework time is up.
Look at that meme! What? That's nuts! What?
Stealth assessments are called stealth assessments because they run in the background. While it may look like you're taking a Khan Academy quiz, you're actually taking a somewhat equivalent of a standardized test. Stealth assessments like Khan Academy present many benefits because of the way they're fundamentally structured. Standardized tests are built so you have to show your knowledge, while Khan Academy is built so you learn and grow until you reach a point of mastery. Standardized tests are built so you have one big opportunity to show your knowledge, while Khan Academy is built so you have multiple opportunities to see how you improve over the course of a semester. Standardized tests are built so that getting wrong answers is discouraged, while Khan Academy is built so that getting wrong answers is perfectly fine, as long as you keep learning and work to improve. This checks a lot of our boxes. Students get a sense of how they're doing because they can literally see which skills they mastered and which skills they need to improve on. It allows the government to track big trends in education, since Khan Academy can just track all the answers to all the questions and send that to the government. It's easy to send to colleges, it educates students, it more accurately measures student ability because it tracks progress, it's less stressful, it's not biased towards privileged students, and teaching to the standardized test isn't a thing because there would be no standardized tests. Would you look at that? A possible downside, however, is that over time, these quizzes could get the same stigma as standardized tests. Because they're sent to colleges, you must get every single answer right. That wouldn't make them that stealthy anymore, would they? It'll be important to remember to remind students that it's okay and actually the standard to get something wrong, because that's the whole point of these quizzes. You get stuff wrong, you learn from them, and you do better. So those are my top 3 picks. Some runner-ups include sampling, where instead of giving everyone a standardized test, you only give them to a statistically representative sample of the students, eliminating multiple choice, which studies show may not be the best test format, and social-emotional skill surveys, which are surveys that attempt to measure stuff like hope, engagement, and well-being. However, I believe the 3 I presented are our best solutions to the problem standardized test presents. Honestly, the best solution here may not be just one change to fix all of standardized tests, but a combination of each of these solutions. If we can do that, we won't just fix standardized tests, but we'll create a better and more effective education system overall. If you're going to work to reform standardized tests, you'll need to know skills like public speaking and negotiation. And what better way to learn these skills than with Skillshare? See what I did there? Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in business, design, technology, and even more. A premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes on must-know topics, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. By the way, I genuinely do use Skillshare. I signed up for it about a month ago after I heard my favorite YouTuber talk about it. Hey, ding! I'm currently learning motion graphics with Crispian and video creation with the guy behind Winover Productions, so if you want to join me, if you want to support the channel, go to skull.sh/technicality and get 2 months of Skillshare for just 99 cents. From then on, the annual subscription is like less than $10 a month. It's one of the most affordable learning platforms out there. Trust me, it's worth it. Click that link in the description, skull.sh/technicality. Hey, it's March now. How'd that happen? What? To the people who came over from SciShow, hi, welcome to Technicality. I make videos about science, humanities, and everything that blows my mind, so if you want to come along for the journey, click that subscribe button. If you like this, it means a lot if you hit that like button, thank you, and watch some of the recommended videos on screen right now. Thank you to all my patrons over at patreon.com/technicality, especially these awesome people, and if you're still watching this, wow, thank you, that is so awesome. Thank you, this really means a lot. DFTBA, and explore on.